So this is going to be a little bit more of a serious video. I'm going to be talking about suicide and death and self-harm and eating disorders and all of the things in the world that are hard to watch and listen to. So this is your warning. If you're my family, if you're any young people, if you don't want to hear about those types of things, this is your warning to click off. But yes, this is going to be a very serious video. Shanny Fannies, welcome to Educating Shanny. I'm Shanny and I'm recovering from an eating disorder. Hi Shanny, hi! So today's Wednesday for you, it should be, almost. And that means it's time for my weekly Wednesday update. So first of all, I'm sorry that yesterday I didn't make you a new video. I just did bloopers from the poop song, which you guys seem to really love, by the way. I'm loving the feedback on the poop song. I'm very proud of it. So anyway, I was really sick yesterday. Today I'm feeling a bit better. So yeah, okay. So I want to give you an update on my status of my eating disorder and self-harm in my mind and things that are going on like that. But I first just want to say, because this is what got me thinking to talk to you guys about this. So we found out on Saturday night that one of our old family friends passed away from brain cancer. And she was someone that was really close to us when I was younger. Like, I was good friends with her daughter when I was like in elementary school type of age, so like really little. But she was in our ward or our neighborhood, and so she and her husband were, you know, best friends with my parents as well. So once a long time ago, we were all really good friends. So I first just want to like give my condolences to her family, and you know who you are. I know a couple of you watch my videos. I love you. Please tell the family that I'm praying for all of you, and I love you, and I'm so proud of you for being so strong right now. And it's okay if you can't be strong. I can't even imagine what it would feel like to lose my mother. Okay, so anyway, now I want to talk about death, because every time somebody in my life dies, no matter how close or not close I am to them, like Margine, like I've seen her off and on at baby showers and parties and weddings and stuff, but that's it. Like, we haven't been close or anything. But it does get you thinking, and it's interesting because I think, okay, so the first thing, I don't know where to start. The first thing is that it's interesting how a death of somebody who knew every person in my family and my old family, let me explain. So we were all in the same ward with my mom and dad, my real dad, and we were in the ward. Our ward is like our church area. So we were in the same neighborhood, I'll say, with Margine and her husband. Margine's the one that just died. And we were also best friends with Rob and Lisa, and Rob is now my stepdad. We'll get to that later. And we were also best friends with the McConnells. And so these four families were always like really close, and we would do things and do family nights together and stuff like that. And then my parents got divorced, and then later my mom married Rob after Rob's wife Lisa passed away, and Lisa was Margine's absolute best friend, and my mom was her good friend, and my dad and everybody. So like, we all know her collectively from a long time ago. And it's really interesting now that we're all, you know, grown and changed, and the situation is completely different than it was last time I knew her. It's just really interesting how it can bring your family together. My first thought was, oh, I should text my dad, my real dad, and let him know, because he loved her and he was friends with her. So I don't normally text my dad often. Like, I'll see him on holidays and stuff, but I don't really talk to him a whole lot. And so, I don't know, it's just funny how death can bring people together in a way if you all knew that person, even if you've been split up, but then you all come back together. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure some of you have experienced this, and I would love to hear about it in the comments. Anyway, so the next thing I want to talk to you about is, I first of all want to give my update as far as my eating disorder and self-harm goes, and then I want to talk to you about something else related to what I was just talking about. So first of all, my eating disorder has been very, very up and down. Like one day I won't binge and purge, the next day I'll do it once. One day, 2 days I won't binge and purge, and then the next day I'll do it, and then the next day I'll do it, and then I won't, and then I won't, and then I will, and then I won't, and then I won't, and then I will. That's pretty much been how it is. As far as my self-harm goes, I haven't felt safe enough to talk to you guys about this until today, so that's why I'm going to, because ever since I made that video that was like confronting your judgments or something like that, I'm like, I've got it back in me, and I'm like, no, this is my channel, I can talk about what I want, so you're welcome. Anyway, yeah, so a few weeks ago I self-harmed for the first time in probably 9 months, 8 or 9 months. I cut my leg, I punched myself, because I think I've talked about this in the past, that my forms of self-harm that I go to first are cutting my legs, so that, because nobody ever sees my legs, and also punching myself and kicking my shin into things and stuff like that. So like, I bruise really easily, and in that twisted self-harm state of mind, I like to see either blood or bruising. However, my face doesn't bruise, and I don't think I've talked to you guys about this. Maybe I have. I don't know why. I really think it has to do with the fact that I'm so anemic. Like, that's why I'm pale all the, like, I have layers of bronzer on right now. I'm usually like that color. But I'm so pale all the time. I don't think I have a lot of blood running through my face. I don't know why. I don't know if it's like malnourishment or if it's just, I don't know. Like, I've always had really good skin, and I think it's because I just don't have a lot of blood pumping through my face. I really think I don't, because I punch my face all the time when I'm self-harming. I punch myself there, everywhere, and my eye, and I never bruise. It is the weirdest thing in the world, and I punch it hard and I never bruise. So those are kind of my go-to self-harm things that I do. Now, the reason I want to tie this back to this lady that I know that just died. I have an obsession with death, and I think I've talked to you guys about this. I honestly probably would have killed myself right now if I wasn't so terrified of death. But I have an obsession with it, and I have told you that I do get dreams before people die so that I can prepare for it. This lady, I did not have a dream that Mardine died, but I did have a dream that somebody died, but I didn't know who it was in the dream. So I don't know if that meant that or whatever, but I usually get those dreams very clear when it's somebody that I know very, very well, and I have not seen her for a long time. So I don't know if that's connected at all. But anyway, I've always just been obsessed with death. It's my biggest fear, and it's my biggest obsession, and it's my biggest, like, I just always want to, like, I love hearing stories of people that die and come back, and like, it fascinates me to know what they saw and how it was, and part of that is honestly because I do want to kill myself, and I have my entire life, and it's something that is always in the back of my mind, but the past few weeks, it's been in the front of my mind. And it's really interesting because almost every time that I've planned to take my life or had suicidal thoughts or anything like that, I have someone in my life die. Whether they are close to me or someone I haven't seen in a long time, like Margene or whatever. Like, it is crazy that they happen to die right when I want to die. And it's like, it's almost like this thing that Heavenly Father, you know, kind of warns me, I guess, and reminds me how serious death is, and reminds me, like, this sounds like this is all about me, and it's not. I'm just saying that any death, no matter what it is, kind of makes me think about death, and it makes me see family members of the person who died and see what pain they're in and how hard it is, and that's kind of what stops me every time. So it's really interesting that happens, and it's like I'm grateful and I'm not grateful. I don't know how to feel about it, but it definitely helps me. So like, for instance, the first time I wanted to kill myself, I was 13 years old, I believe, 13 or 14. It was right after my parents got divorced, and I wanted to die, and I wanted to kill myself. And then my best second mom friend in the world, Lisa, who is my now stepdad's wife, passed away from cancer right when I wanted to kill myself. And then my stepsister committed suicide when she was 19. And right before that, like a week before that, I wanted to kill myself, and I was planning it out and everything, and I had everything set up, everything was ready. And then 2 years to the date that she died, her mom died of a heart attack or a broken heart, because it was on her daughter's 2-year death anniversary. She died of a broken heart, and it just so happened that that week right before she died, I had been planning more suicide. So it's really interesting that when I get to that place, dark enough and low enough and scary enough, it's like I'm reminded a little bit how precious life is, and how painful it is for the families that lose their loved ones, because it's a very sad thing to watch. So it's almost like Heavenly Father has a plan for everything, and I think that everything that happens, there's a lot more reasons than what it seems. I think that that's it for everybody. And again, I don't want this to be like self-centered, like her death is all about me. I just think it's interesting that I get like warnings or some sort of, I don't even know what to call it, when I'm feeling like I want to die and I need to die. So, which I have been. I have been feeling like I want to die. So these voices, and you guys know what a lot of you guys have experienced these voices also. These voices lately have been telling me that I would be better off dead, and the way that they convince me is very strange, and it's always a man's voice. It's not my own voice. I don't know who it is. It's just a man's voice. I think it's Satan, to be honest. In fact, I know it is. But it's telling me all the time, you need to die for this and this and this reason. And the reasons I get from him in my head are absolutely make total sense to me. Like, he'll say things like, you need to die because your family would be better off without you, because you bring too much trouble to your family. You're too much of a black sheep, and you're too inappropriate all the time, and your family would be better off without you. Or your Shanny fannies would be way better off without you, because if you died, that would save them. That would show them what can happen if you don't get help. You can die, and then that would actually help them. So you should do that. Or your husband would be way better off without you, because he would be able to find a new wife or whatever who will have normal sex with him, and who will be better at contributing to the family. Or the worst one that I've been hearing, do you realize that you have murdered 2 effing babies? Because I've always had it in the back of my mind, like, yeah, the one miscarriage that I do know was a miscarriage. I was extremely deep into my eating disorder at the time. I was binging and purging 10 to 20 times a day, cutting myself, hitting myself, starving myself. Also, I was doing everything bad that I could do to my body, I was doing. So when I hear things like that, even though I know it's coming from a dark place, I know it's coming from an evil place, but it's like, it's like he knows where to like reach the core of me that will hurt me the most. And the people that I care about the absolute most in the whole world is who I get the voices about. So my children and my family and my husband. Some of the hardest things in life can teach us some of the best lessons in life, and it can encourage you in a way. It can encourage you to do everything you can to stay on this earth as long as possible, so that you are with your family and those that care about you, because no matter what you do, I don't think any family member of yours would want you dead. And I know that any family member of mine would not want me dead. Anyway, that's basically what's been going on with me. It's been rough, and I am I am going to be okay, though. I think that this will pass, and I think that it will pass. It will. Yeah. Anyway, so I guess just whoever you are, whatever you're going through, just remember that this life is super precious and we only get to do this life once. And I'm grateful to have been reminded of that, but obviously I'm very sad for the circumstances. And but just use my story, use your story. If anything tragic happens in your life, use that as like, wow, look at the family, look at how much they miss her, look how much pain they're in. Like, do that if you're thinking about killing yourself like I was, because no family in the world deserves that. Nobody. No matter how bad they treat you, nobody deserves to have somebody kill themselves, especially if it's like a stab to their family or somebody, which people have told me that several times. So, yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna go. I've been rambling and I don't know what I talked about, but I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love you guys. Hug your family, hug your loved ones. And I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. And remember forever and always that you are beautiful, you are worth it, and I am too. Thank you for watching. Bye.